Hey, what's up, Divine Ones? It's Latoya O'Keel, your life coach and your motivational speaker. Welcome to another episode of the Divine Destiny with Latoya podcast. I'm so excited to be on this episode with y'all tonight. It's actually Christmas today. So just feeling in the holiday spirit, even though I've already uploaded some content today to my YouTube, Instagram, well, not Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I still wanted to come on tonight and record this podcast episode for y'all because I was just thinking about purpose, just doing a lot of thinking about purpose. And y'all know I'm really, really big on purpose. You know, I talk about that all the time. Know your purpose, walk in your purpose, find your purpose, find your gifts, walk in all of that. So on this episode of the podcast, I want to talk to y'all about how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you find your purpose? And I'm going to actually break down what I would normally go through on a coaching session with somebody with me, that's struggling to find their purpose. I'm going to actually break this down for y'all. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to think about as it relates to your purpose, what exactly is purpose? Purpose is the reason why you showed up on this planet. Purpose is the reason why your heart is beating. Purpose is the reason why your body, your veins are pumping blood throughout your body all day long, over and over and over again. Purpose is the reason why you have air in your lungs right now. Dr. Miles Monroe said it best. He said the biggest tragedy in life is not death. He said the biggest tragedy in life is life without a purpose. It's not death, because that's the inevitable. We already know that. We already know what we headed to. But he said that's to be expected. You subject to that. So that's not the tragedy. The tragedy is to live your whole life and not know why. You see what I'm saying? Live your whole life to be living and breathing and sucking up oxygen and taking in air and taking up space, and you have no idea why. So you got to find your purpose. You got to know why you showed up here. You got to know why you exist in this space and in this time today in your generation, because there's a reason why you were born at this time that you were born, because you could have been born at any period of time. But God looked in this earth realm and he saw a problem. He saw a need for something, and he put the answer. He put the answer to that problem, the answer to that need. He put it inside of you, and he sent you into the earth as a seed. And you are here to manifest. You're here to make manifest the glory of God that God has put on the inside of you. So what does that mean? That means that you're not here to just be taking up space. You're not here to just be working on a job for somebody. You're not here just to be living your whole life broke, busted, and disgusted. But you're here to solve a problem, beloved. That's what you came here for. And I want to tell you on this episode that if you live in your life every day and you not happy, you miserable, it's because you're not in your purpose. And I was telling somebody today that every day you live outside of purpose, you struggle. You struggle. It's a struggle for you. Things do not come easy for you. It seems like you have to work very, very hard to make ends meet. It seems like money is so hard to come by. It just seems like you just can't get a break. You just can't get, you can't step into the flow of things. And I was telling somebody today, that's actually like your punishment for you not doing what you came here to do. Every day that you live outside, like once it's come to your season, now you'll have to go through that premature stage of your life. You have to lead up to that point. But once it actually comes into your season for you to walk in your purpose, for you to start solving that problem that you came here to solve, and you refuse to do it, you will not do it. Let me tell you right here and right now, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer, and your children will suffer too. I'm telling you, your children going to suffer. Your children going to have to go through a lot of things that they would not have to go through if you answer the call, if you answer to your purpose, and you start doing what God made you to do. I'm telling you some real stuff. So it's better for you to go ahead and find your purpose and get in it. And I want to tell you that, like I said, That's your punishment. You have to pay a price. Like you have your own will, right? God gave every human being their own will to do whatever they want to do when they get here. You do whatever you want to do. You ain't got to do what God made you to do. You could do whatever you want to do. But you're going to pay a price for that. You're going to suffer for that. Your body is going to go through sicknesses that you would not have normally even had to deal with. You see what I'm saying? You're going to struggle and you're going to work on a job for years that you hate. You're going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you may have the money, but you may be miserable. You may not be able to understand why you're not happy. You got everything that it needs. You got everything you need in order to be happy, but you're still not happy. That's because you paying that price for not doing what you was made to do. Versus once you step into doing what you were created to do, when you step into your purpose, you step into the flow. Now, all of a sudden, things that were locked up for you, that was so hard for you to get, you had to sweat, you had to work, you had to plow the field to get money. You had to do, work all these dead end jobs to try to make ends meet. Now, all of a sudden, when you step in your purpose and you find your gift, you see that money flows to you freely and effortlessly. You ain't even got to hardly do that much work, and money will just come to you. Your body, you won't have to suffer as much with your body. Your children will get in line. You won't have to go through as much as you was going through with your children, because now the universe, God, everything says, okay, they have stepped into the reason why they are here. They're in their purpose now. So God will make things easier for you to be able to live in your purpose, because that's what he wants you to do. He said all things work together for the good. That's what the Bible says. To them that love God and to them that are called according to his purpose. Once you start doing what God has called you to do, and you step into your purpose and stop doing what you think you need to do, and you come into purpose, that's when God will start allowing things to work together for your good. So I want to tell you, whatever your purpose is, you're already doing it. You're already probably doing it anyway. You just need to package it, present it, and then put a price tag on it. See, you got to learn how to take the gift that God gave you and you got to monetize on it. Meaning that you got to learn how to bring it to the marketplace, and you got to learn how to make money from it, so that you won't have to be in bondage on somebody's job for the rest of your life. And then this is another thing that I want to tell you. I want to ask you, as it relates to your purpose, you got to think about what comes the easiest for you. What is something that you do so easily? This is why I say you probably doing it anyway, but it just seems so easy. You figure that it can't be that, Toya. I want to tell you, yes, it is that very thing. It's that thing that you've been doing since you was probably 8 years old, since you was probably 12 years old, because I know I've been coaching people all my life. I've been coaching people all my life. I've been ministering to people all my life. I've been speaking, telling people what to do all my life. I've been a coach and just didn't understand what it was until, they gave the terminology for it. I'm like, I've been doing that all my life. So I want to tell you, what comes the easiest for you? Ask yourself, what did your 8-year-old self love to do? What did your 12-year-old self love to do? I want you to go back to your innocence. I want you to go back to that little girl, go back to that little boy that used to dream, that used to imagine, that used to visualize and play pretend. Because before this world got a hold to you and started, just doing you in, because that's the way the world does. You had an innocence. You had an imagination. See, that's why the Bible says, except you come as a child, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You cannot receive the kingdom of heaven except you come as a child. That means that you got to go back to that imaginative state of thinking. You got to go back to your imagination. And so another thing I want you to think about, what is the thing that you do the best? I mean, you a beast at it too, baby. I heard Bishop T.D. Jakes say this. He said everybody ought to have something that they can do that if they ever mess around and let you do it, it's going to be over. He said it's going to be over, baby. You might not be the best at everything else, but he said it's one thing that you do that if they ever mess around and let you do it, I mean, give you a platform and let you go with it, let you do it, baby, it's over with. You're going to shut down the show, baby. It's over with. That's your purpose and that's your gift. So what is the thing that you do the best with the least amount of effort? What do you do the best with the least amount of effort? It's second nature to you. It's innate. You do it innately. It's just real. It's just authentic. It don't even feel like a gift. It just feel like who you naturally are. You may be a really good listener. You may be a really good listener. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you do the best that seems like nothing to you, but it's amazing to other people compliment you on it. You know, they're amazed at how you do it so effortlessly, but they struggle to do it. So think about that. And another hint that I want to drop on you when you're trying to find your purpose, a lot of times when you're not in the season to come into your purpose, like when you're in the premature stages, your purpose will get you in trouble. It will get you in trouble. It's that thing that will get you in trouble because I'm telling you, yes, it works for me now and I make money coaching now, but it used to get me in trouble. And I used to make a lot of enemies because of that. So I remember Steve Harvey saying that, you know, he always had the gift of comedy. So when he was in school, he used to be the class clown. He'd be the class clown in the classroom. He always get in trouble for being the class clown, or he would always get in trouble for, you know, saying he got in trouble with his teacher once for saying that he saw himself on TV, that he had a dream of himself, you know, visualizing himself being on TV. And the teacher got on to him, you know, about that. So understand that people, for one, don't let what people say discourage you. You gotta have the heart to keep going. If you see something, you gotta stick with it until it manifests. And then too, what did you used to get in trouble for all the time? When you was coming up in school, when you was little, what did you stay getting in trouble about? Did you talk too much? Did they say you talk too much? Did they say you always in somebody's business? Did they say you always running your mouth? You too loud, whatever it is. I'm telling you, that was more than likely your gift. I know with my daughter, she is persistent. And she gets in trouble many days for that because I'll say no to her, but she will not take no for an answer. She is very, very persistent. And I told God, I said, I wonder if I got a lawyer on my hands. Because when I tell you, baby, she know how to argue. She knows how to argue, and she knows how to get you to say what she wants you to say. She will not stop. She'll go in and go in and go in and go in. And see, I realize that and I catch that because I know the way purpose works. So be careful when you get on to your children or you get on to any children about things that they're doing wrong, because more than likely they just being who God made them to be. But see, when you have not come into the season for that, it'll get you in trouble. So what was the thing that you used to get in trouble about a lot? Okay. And I want to tell you that you already know your purpose. You really do. For some of you that are going to listen to this episode and that are going to watch this on YouTube, because it's also going to be on my YouTube, you probably already know what your purpose is. You may just be too scared to do it. I'm telling you, for a lot of people, that's what it is. When I get with them and I talk to them on the phone, when I tell them what it is, they just be so floored. They be so surprised. They like, man, it ain't no way. You telling me that's what, and I'm like, yes, that's what it is. You already knew it. You already knew it, and you already been doing it because it just feels like you. It's just you being you. When God said to work, to become, he was saying just that, to become who I made you to be. When you working in your purpose, it's just you becoming who God has made you to be. So it's just naturally who you already are. You already doing it in some way, shape, or form. You already in your purpose. You already working it. You just got to get to the place where you can package it up. You can present it to an audience, and then you can put a price tag on it. That's what you got to do. So you may have already started. But you just got to learn how to do it in a way that you can catch an audience. Do it in a way where you can draw people to you. Do it in a captivating way. And then you got to pick a platform, you know, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You got to pick some kind of platform. And people will say, well, I'm not a technical person. Well, you got to learn how to be one, because in the times that we live in today, you're not going to be able to monetize on anything if you're not on the internet, if you're not on social media, because you can't even be within 6 feet of anybody. So how are you going to do things in person? You can't. You got to get on social media. You got to know how to leverage the internet. Okay. So you already doing it. You just got to get clear on what it is. And then you got to learn how to do it in a captivating way that you can catch an audience. And then once you catch the audience, you have to know how to package it up, how to present it to them, and then how to put a price tag on it. Okay. So how do you get started? A lot of people ask me that. Toya, how do I get started? I don't even know where to start with my purpose. I don't know my purpose. I don't even know how to get started. Just do it, baby. Just do it. Just literally do it. Be like Nike and just do it. Because people used to tell me all the time, Toya, you're going to do this. It was prophesied to me. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to speak before people. You're going to run businesses. You're going to do this. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to do that? But when I look back on all of it, I realized, y'all, that I just had to do it. Listen to me. Your spirit guide, there's a place within your spirit. It's the I am that's on the inside of you. It is the presence of God. It knows what you need to do. Listen to me. It knows. If physically in your flesh, you don't know. And that's the place that you're speaking from. You're speaking from your flesh when you say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How do I get started? That's the flesh talking. See, your spirit man knows what you need to do. So you got to just do the very first thing that comes to you. Do the first thing that comes to you. It may be get on your phone and just start talking. Start uploading a video. Start a YouTube channel and just start uploading videos. Yes, your first few videos are going to suck. I'm going to tell you because mine do. I sounded a hot mess trying to talk proper, trying to be somebody I wasn't because I'm trying to, I had to come into myself. And y'all will hear that on the first few episodes of this podcast. I had to come into myself and I had to find my voice and I had to get comfortable with being who God made me to be. And I did not become that way overnight. It took a process. It took practice. It took consistency. So you need to stop trying to figure out how you're going to get started and just do something. Just pick up a notebook and start writing. Okay. Pick up a camera and just start recording and then upload it. It does not have to be perfect. Ain't nobody going to see your first few videos anyway. So just start recording. And then eventually you're going to keep fumbling and stumbling and falling just like baby eaglets do when they learning how to fly. But eventually they get they flap on. Eventually they get okay, I'm flapping. I got this thing. So, but if they never get started, if they never leave the nest and go out on the cliff and jump, they never learn how to fly. So stop thinking that you got to be perfect. You do not have to be great to get started, but you do got to get started in order to be great. So just do it. You can start without having all the knowledge. You do not have to know everything. You do not have to have all the knowledge. You do not have to have all the tools and all the best equipment and all this here and all that there. You ain't got to have all this stuff, baby. Just get started. Y'all listen to me, please. Do not hesitate one more day. I don't want to hear nobody else sitting there talking about, I don't think I got the right camera. I don't think I got the right lights. I don't know how to publish a book. Just get started. Go on Google and start Googling. Look up, how do I publish my own book? How do I create content for my YouTube channel? Just do it. Do it. And yes, you're gonna fail. Yes, you're gonna suck. Yes, your videos are gonna be, half lit and you ain't gonna be talking right. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be saying, you're gonna be looking down, fumbling around. You're gonna do all that. We all do that. That's the baby eaglet learning how to fly. Listen to me. That's the baby eaglet learning how to fly. But if you stay consistent, listen, do not count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. Don't do that. That's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to say, look at you. You look stupid up here. You look dumb up here. These folks ain't going to listen to you. Cut this off and go on somewhere and do something else. See, that's the enemy speaking. You got to learn how to tell that voice to shut up. When it start getting in the way of you doing what God has told you to do and what God has made you to do, you got to tell that voice to shut up. I want to tell you that consistency is your weapon. You got to be consistent. You got to set yourself up to run a marathon because God did not design our lives to be a sprint. This is a marathon, baby. Do you hear me? And if you're watching this from YouTube, I want you to go in the comments and I want you to put that in the comments. Say, this is a marathon. And that's just what it is. You got to set yourself up to run a marathon. Slow and steady wins the race. You got to be consistent. So don't worry about what you look like in the beginning. Just pick something and start doing it. And forget what folks have to say. Forget them folks. They talking about you because they ain't got the courage that you got. They can't do what you trying to do. They too scared to do it. So you got to push past your fear because there's people that's watching you. So consistency is key. You're not going to look your best when you first get started. And don't you worry about that. You doing this unto God. So you got to ask yourself now, if you so worried about what you look like, what you sound like, and what you're writing like, you got to say, now, am I doing this unto God, or am I doing this for me, for my glory, or for somebody else's glory? See what I'm saying? Because God does not care that you're not your best when you get started. He ain't worried about that because he know what you're able to do. But he knows that you got to get started in order for you to get to that point. God don't care about that. God is just glad that you stepped in your purpose. God is just excited that you are finally doing what he has made you to do. And he will send the provisions. Listen to me. He will send the way for you. I'm a witness to that. So this is what you got to know. You got to start without having the knowledge, without having the tools. And you have to trust God that all of that stuff will come. You will get the knowledge. You will learn how to do better videos, how to write better books. You will learn how to handle your business better, how to handle your business correctly. You will eventually get all of the tools, but you got to get started. So I want to tell y'all something that I heard from a coach that I love to listen to all the time. I absolutely admire her work. Her name is Angel Richardson from Life Coaches Rock. And this is what she says. She says, when you know your purpose, your past makes sense. When you know your purpose, your past makes sense. When you know the reason why you here, you'll understand why you went through what you went through. You went through that pain because God was going to use that pain. He's using that pain to bring you into your purpose. Everything will make sense for you once you get in your purpose. Like questions that you had for the longest, unanswered prayers that you had, you will start getting answers to those prayers. Everything will start making sense for you. So how do you find your purpose? How do you do it? This is the first thing. You got to get in isolation. Now, I say this all the time, but I think people just don't be listening to me or something. They think it's a 1, 2, 3 jump up and down magic trick or something. I don't know what they be thinking. But listen, I'm telling you right here exactly how to find your purpose. You got to get in isolation. You got to go through a season where you turn that TV off. You got to turn the news off. You got to turn that radio off. You got to get away from your negative friends. You got to get away from your negative family members, and you got to get quiet with God. Got to go to your creator. If you want to know something about a product, you go to the creator. If you want to know something about a product, you go to the manufacturer. So get rid of all of this other stuff. All these unauthorized dealers, get rid of them. Trying to tell you what to do and how to live your life, get rid of them and get in isolation. Get in alone time with God. And when I say do this for a season, I mean you might have to do this for at least 30 days. I ain't telling you nothing I ain't do. This is what I did. This is what I did. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to know your purpose? Because it's right there in front of you, but you can't see it because you've been programmed by society. So you got to unlearn all that stuff that society done dumped in your spirit. You got to deprogram. You got to unlearn everything that society has taught you. That's why the Bible says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. Come on now. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. God is telling you, he said you can't see your purpose because your mind is cluttered by the things of the world. So what do you got to do? You got to shut the world out. Shut it off. 30 days. Cut the TV off, cut the news off, cut the radio off, get away from your negative friends, get away from your negative family members, and only necessary conversations. Only have conversations that are absolutely necessary. Listen, don't be engaging in that casual conversation. Don't do that. If they ain't talking about business, cut it off. Cut it off. Only necessary conversations only during this time. And then you got to get quiet. You got to get quiet. You got to be still and you got to listen. Listen from within. I told you your spirit man knows what you need to do, but you just got it so cluttered up in there you can't hear what it's saying to you. So you got to get rid of all that stuff. It's going to take you at least 30 days of quiet. No TV, none of that stuff. No radio, none of that. It's going to take at least 30 days of that for you to get that stuff out of your system. You literally have to go through a spiritual detox. A spiritual detox. And you got to be still and you have to listen. And then you have to ask God, why am I here? Why am I here? And then ask him, what can I do? Now, when you ask him, why am I here? You asking God, you are inquiring of God about your purpose. When you ask him, what can I do? You are inquiring of God about your gifts. Okay. So after you ask these questions, you then have to wait for the answer. You got to wait for the answer. And I want to tell you that the answer is going to reveal itself to you in a way that you will recognize. You're going to know the answer when it comes to you. You're going to get an urgency in your spirit. You're going to get, an unctioning in your spirit. There's going to be a urge in your spirit to do something, to start something, to create something. You're going to get an idea to do something. Follow that ideal because that is God speaking to you. Listen to me. He's speaking to you. He's going to give you step one. Don't look for the whole path because God does not show you the whole path. That's why people still stuck in they froze and they won't move and they still talking about how I find my purpose. God done spoke to them, but see, they looking for the whole path. God don't tell you the whole path because if he did, you wouldn't need faith. He tell you step one and you got to step out on faith and do what he told you with step one. And when you do step one, you're going to see step two. By the time you get almost finished with step one, God going to show you step two. Okay. So you got to understand that. You got to understand. Now, I gave you the formula to what you need to do. Replay this episode a couple times. Get your journal and take notes. And because I'm telling you exactly how to find your purpose. That's how I found mine. That's how I found mine. I had to cut that TV off. I had to cut that radio off. I had to get rid of them folks that was talking negatively, that was sending me gossip, sending me bad news, sending me all that stuff. You got to deprogram from the world. You got to shut the world off. You got to stop looking at who posted what. You got to stop looking at folks' stories. You got to cut that stuff off, baby. And you got to sit with God. That's what he wants you to do. He said, be not conformed to this world. And I want to tell you now, I gave you the formula, but listen to this. If you don't feel like you can figure it out on your own, after hearing all that, if you honestly feel like you just can't figure it out on your own, you just can't get it on your own, which I'm just going to reiterate to you what I just said, because that's what you got to do. But if you feel like you cannot do it on your own, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to go to my site, IamLatoyaO'Keel.com. And I want you to book a one-on-one session with me. This is a 1-hour session with me that you can invest in on my site. When you book that service, I'm going to send you a questionnaire where I'll ask you even more questions about your past, just about different things throughout your life. And you submit those answers back to me. I'll review those answers and then we'll set up a one-on-one time where we can speak and I will tell you what your purpose is. Because it's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. Sometimes you need somebody else to speak it to you, especially if you don't have that type of relationship with God where you can hear from him for yourself. You may need somebody else. You may need a man or a woman of God to seek God and speak that for you. So if that's what you need, I want y'all to reach out to me. I was going to do a purpose course, but I need to speak with y'all on this. If you feel like you need help, then we're going to have to speak. So I want you to do not be afraid to make that investment because you're going to lose way more than that if you keep living every day outside of your purpose. Okay. So don't be afraid to make the investment because you're going to get it back 20 times over, 50 times over, because the Lord will open up the windows of heaven for you when you get in your purpose and you do what he made you to do. So I love y'all so much. Click the link in the description of this episode and invest in that one-on-one purpose coaching session with me. If you feel like you need the help, you can't figure it out on your own. But replay this episode a couple times because I gave you the tools of what I did and how I found my purpose. Okay. So I am Latoya O'Keel, your life coach and your motivational speaker. To all of my aspiring life coaches, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, I want you to go to my website, IamLatoyaOkia.com and go to the coaching packages tab, and you can invest in the training and certification program that I offer to life coaches. And you're also welcome to book a discovery call with me. So I will check in with y'all next time. Y'all be blessed.